Welcome to Pearson Test of English, also known as PTE. This is the listening test, and the question here that I shall be addressing is highlight correct summary. Let us look at the test format. You will be given 2 to 3 tasks. The skills assessed here are listening and reading. Your tasks are scored on the basis of correct or incorrect response. You will get 1 mark for correct response, 0 for incorrect. You will hear a recording. This lasts between 30 to 90 seconds. You will have 10 seconds till the audio begins. You must click on the correct option. Here is a sample of what this particular question looks like. As you can see, your instruction has been given at the beginning. It says, you will hear a recording. Click on the paragraph that best relates to the recording. This is your audio status box. This is your progress bar. This denotes how long the audio is. While listening to this, you must be able to identify which out of the 4 summaries is correct. On this side, you will notice some important words. These are nothing but an example of how you can make short notes or take down notes from what you hear onto your erasable notebook booklet. Then you can match these words to each of the summaries and see whichever one has got the most amount of information that is relevant and coherent, and select that as your best option. Now, let us understand what the task is all about. You will have to listen to a recording of the passage. On the screen or the page, there will be different summaries of the recorded passage given as the options. You have to select the correct option that best relates to the passage. There is only one correct option. The purpose of the task is to test your ability to understand and identify similar information despite differences in the wording based on comprehension through listening. You can follow these strategies to answer this effectively. Firstly, listen to the audio very carefully. Take down notes. While doing so, identify the overall meaning. Listen for main ideas and supporting ideas in the audio. For this, you can skim the text as well and try and match the important information. The information generally consists of data, suggestions, opinions, or arguments. So when you're making a note, you could make a note of this as well. Use these keywords in the form of abbreviations or symbols or arrows. Refer to them for selection. Do not try to read summaries as you listen. You will never be able to identify the information. You will get stuck. Focus instead on the listening. When the audio stops, refer to the notes, eliminate incorrect options, select the correct option, ensure that the notes cover all the aspects like the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, which basically means all of the ideas that the speaker is talking about. Select accordingly. You can click on the option to deselect if you're not sure, and click on the right option, click next to move on. Now here is practice question 1. Your instructions are given at the beginning. It says that you will hear a recording. Choose the paragraph that best relates to the recording. So you will listen to the audio. Using the strategies mentioned above, select your correct answer. Once you're done, you can cross-check with the answer list provided.
Practice Test 1. Page 41, Section 2. Highlight correct summary. You will hear a recording. Choose the paragraph that best relates to the recording. Recording A.
A cliché, as you know, is an overused and worn-out phrase, and these are to be avoided like the plague in your essays. Indeed, someone once said, I quote, "There is no greater danger to either education or thinking than the popular phrase." Let me digress a little further. Originally, a cliché was a printer's term, back in the days when letters were set one by one, for a ready-made block of type of frequently used phrases, usually in the newspaper business. So, there you are. Clichés were also known as stereotypes. Now, if you think of graphic design as a language, with its own vocabulary, grammar, and so on, it too must have its clichés. Obvious examples would be the twin Greek masks of comedy and tragedy that symbolise the theatre, and, more popularly known, the heart as a symbol of love, especially on Valentine cards and so on. Far from being a terrible fault, as it would be in literature, the visual cliché is essential in the world of graphic communication. This is certainly true when it comes to advertising and propaganda. The visual cliché can give immediate life to an idea and a clear meaning to what could be a mere abstraction.
This is your practice question 2. Again, you will hear a recording. Using strategies given above, choose the paragraph that best relates to the recording. Once you're done, you can cross-check with the answer list provided.
Recording B.
All whales, dolphins and porpoises are social animals, although the degree of sociability varies greatly from one species to another. Differences of behaviour have not evolved by chance. Living in close proximity to other animals has certain costs and benefits, so we can expect the group size adopted by a species to be the most suitable for its environment and lifestyle. River dolphins, for example, have a fairly simple social system, forming small groups of just a few animals, rarely more than 10. On the other hand, many of the oceanic dolphins may roam the seas in groups of thousands. Also, there can be differences within species. For example, with sperm whales, females and juveniles form groups, while adult males are solitary. Some of the reasons for living in groups include greater efficiency in searching for and catching food, benefits for mating, learning, defence, and sensory integration. Now, sensory integration is the means by which each animal contributes to the information gained by the group as a whole, and this plays an important part in defence and in the search for food. For example, if one animal discovers a shoal of fish or a hungry shark, it can immediately pass on this information to the others in the group so that all may benefit. A single animal or small group may remain unaware of the food or predator and so miss a meal or suffer an attack.
Some of the common problems that students often face when it comes to this type of question are as follows. First is the inability to understand different accents. If you're not used to interacting with people who speak in different English accents, then this might be a problem for you. A lot of times, students are suggested to watch movies or listen to music in different English accents, but if they do not do that, then that again becomes an issue. The next problem is the inability to correlate ideas and match the corresponding information. If you are thoroughly lacking in the next two problems, or rather points, lack of vocabulary and lack of grammar or grammatical knowledge, then this will definitely become a problem. You don't really have much time and you will listen to a huge amount of information and you have to match that information to the summaries given. This becomes difficult if you are not aware of how the words are connected, what they mean, and how all of the summaries are somehow connected, yet one of them only stands out. So this again is a common issue that students face. Here are some tips to improve and practice. First, focus on the keywords in the audio. You can identify the topic, theme or main ideas. Practice skimming sets of summaries. While doing so, ensure that you try and identify the speaker's purpose. Now, the speaker's purpose tells you what the speaker is talking about and why. So that becomes a part of your details. And details turn into the next point, which is keywords. So these keywords will be present somewhere in the option, so you make sure that you mark those. If you feel that the keywords are not in the exact same form, then look for synonyms or closely related words. A good suggestion would be to enhance your vocabulary. For this, practice 5 to 10 words every day. Understand their context and meaning and how they are used. Understand the tone of the passage, but most importantly, adopt a rapid note-taking habit. This will really ensure that you cover all your points. Take hints from the speaker's intonation and word stress. Most of the times, the speaker or speakers stress on important points, so they could also serve as your cues. Try to infer meaning from the overall context of unfamiliar words. That is the end of this session. Thank you.